Yeah, it was a good fight. It was a close fight. Fight to 2 halves. Though Josh Taylor started really well. Bags a lot of the rounds in the first half, and then Echeman come on strong, and Esman come on strong and took the second half of the fight really. And I think it was just more. I think it was a close fight, but for me, I thought Esman finished strong in the last couple and probably just nicked it. But yeah, good fight to watch.
What would you say Josh would have needed to have done in the fight, obviously hindsight of course, to change that defeat to a victory?
Just let his hands go a little bit more towards the end and just stick to doing what he was doing. I feel like when he was fresh and he was boxing and staying off the ropes, he was probably a little bit too good, but he decided to stop letting his hands go, sit on the ropes and get our work basically the second half of the fight. So I don't think Esman doing anything much different. I think he just upped the pace a little bit second half, and I think Josh's pace dropped a lot. So I think Esman probably just done enough to edge at the end.
Was there a reason for that? Do you feel was it a fitness thing? Is it an age thing? What is it?
I don't know. It could be a combination of it all. I think he's had a very tough career, and as I'm saying before, he's been in the well many times at the very highest level. He's expected to do it, and he's come back down a level. Although he's moving up in weight, but sometimes it maybe just not there. But I don't know. Only Josh know himself how his camp went, how he felt while he was in there. But to go from being undisputed champion, the highest of the highest, and then losing, it must be a tough one to take.
Callum, just on yourself, that one over Josh should be asking, where does that rank in terms of satisfying ones? Obviously you've been a world champion, but that was a fight you were made an underdog in. People were saying it was a cash out fight, the last payday for you, and you put in the performance you did. How satisfying a victory was that for yourself?
Yeah, I think that sums it up really, to be fair. I wouldn't say I've won a world title before, so probably wasn't the best win about, but in terms of satisfying, yeah, it's good to always go in there and prove people wrong. And I was written off in the fight, and I could understand some people's reasoning for writing me off, but not others in certain aspects. And people probably motivation was gone, maybe my age was going to play a factor, but I know myself better than anyone. I know I still have a lot left, and I knew I could go in here and perform the way I know I can and come out with the victory, and I did. And it always is that little bit more satisfying when you win as an underdog.
You've been linked to massive fights off the back of that. Benevidez is mentioned at the Yarde. Now, there were reports that a fight with Anthony was at the relation of Liam's just told us that he's sort of thinking that Benevidez is potentially more likely. Is there any light you can shed on what might be next?
Yeah, I've got a meeting with Eddie this week. He's away in Japan the weekend, and then I'm going to speak to him when he gets home. But I think people think the Yarde fight apparently was signed, sealed and done because Tundi on Talksport was doing what Tundi likes to do best, but no talks or movement on that fight at all from my side. I haven't heard nothing of it, and I said from what I'm hearing, the Benevidez one is probably a little bit further along in terms of talks and negotiations, even though that fight's nowhere near done. But yeah, there's been no amount of talks what I hear from LT with PPC over getting the Benevidez fight done, but zero regarding Yarde so far. So we wait and see, but I'm in a good position regardless of who I fight next. It should be a good fight, and the goal remains the same. I want to be a two-year champion, and I believe I'll beat whoever I have to get there.
What are your thoughts on Benevidez as a fighter, especially since moving up to light heavyweight?
He's a really good fighter. I've knew of him for a long time. We were both world champions at the same time, down at 168, and I've always rated him a fighter. I like his personality. I think he's good for boxing, and I think stylistically we make a pretty good fight together. So it's definitely a fight that I always feel. Like I said in another interview, I feel about to retire tomorrow. The one fight that I feel probably should have happened and never was the Benevidez one. So we've always been. We were at 168 together, but we were both massive 168, so both had the potential to move to 175. We both have now, so I think it's a fight that will happen at some point. Hopefully, it's next, and I say he's the WBC world champion now, so there's a lot more at stake.
We've talked to Liam about his future, Callum, very much in the same bracket as Josh Taylor after a loss. Have you got anything that you can add, or have you and Paul advised on what Liam could possibly do next?
No, I think obviously as a brother I always advise. I always want what's best for Liam, regardless of fight fans want you to keep fighting for entertainment purposes. Whereas I'll always advise what I feel as a brother. But at the minute, Liam, he knows himself better than anyone. He knows whether that was the best version of him or wasn't the best version of him, or whether it was the preparation or whether it's just not there anymore. I think as time settles, he'll realise and know what it was and whatever decision he wants to make. We are back him as a family, but he's smart. He knows what's best, and I think if he feels it's not there anymore, you won't see him in the ring. If he feels it is, and with better preparation, you can see a better version of him. Then he may choose to fight again. But I haven't really spoke to him over the fight just yet. It wasn't too long ago, and I think as a fighter, the last thing you want to do is talk about your fights quite fresh off it, especially when it was a loss as well. So when the time's right, we'll sit down and speak and talk as a family and say he'll make not the best move for him, and whether it's the right move we'll see.
We talked about the future for British boxing as well. Lee Wood, decorated world champion, Josh Taylor tonight, Liam. It's almost like we're coming to an end of British boxing, aren't we, at the current era?
Yeah, it's sad, but I think it's just sport in general. I think you can't keep performing at the highest level. I know people would like you to, and a lot of people expect you to be at your best every single time out, and to keep going for as long as the fans would like you to. I think as a fighter, when you put your body through it, each camp, and you're having tough fights where you're having to go to well, it's hard to keep producing those type of performances, and it does have its wear and tear on your body. And as we've seen tonight with Josh, sometimes it isn't there, whether it's not there ever again or whether it was just a bad night at the office, and you have to just wait and see. But it's it's a tough sport, and it's a lonely place to find out you're not at your best when you're in the ring, because there's no hiding place. So it's a tough sport, it's very unforgiving, but I think you've got to just enjoy the fighters while you can when they're at the peak.
Last one from me, a cheeky one. Are you looking forward to a Merseyside derby in a proper stadium next season?
Yeah, it should, because hopefully he's a little bit better at your new stadium. But no, like I say, I've got a lot of friends and family who are Everton fans, and it was good to sit and watch that last week, and hopefully he's have a good season in your new stadium next year, and you just can welcome the champions.
Top man.
No worries, thank you.
I just have a couple. I imagine you were disappointed to see the WBO deny your request to be mandated for Guildhall's titles.
Yeah, it's more not so. Obviously, I'd love the chance to fight him. I'm here, and potentially doing the rematch. Nothing's confirmed just yet, but I just want to get moving with my career, and I'm interim champion, and I think similar to the Benevidez thing, I think it keeps the division moving, whether I fight for the vacant title or I'm promoted or I get my shot at Bevo. I want to be a world champion, and I believe I'll beat whoever I have to get there. And I've rate Bevo. I think he's a brilliant fighter. I've known him a long time since the amateurs, and I'd love to share a ring with him. So if I can get my shot at him at some point, then that's the goal. That's what I want to do. But yeah, it's not so much disappointment. I can't have expected it, but as a team, they felt the need to put it in on my behalf. But the goal's still the same for me. I'll fight whoever I need to next, and I'll keep progressing and keep pushing forward, and hopefully at the end of it I finish with another world title.
Who'd you back in the trilogy fight?
Bivol. I think the longer the fight goes in their career and the more times they fight, I think Bivol's just that little bit fresher, and I think age is slowly starting to catch up to Benevidez, and I don't think we'll see a better version of him next time, but I think you can still see better versions of Bivol, and I think they've both been very, very razor close fights, and I think they fight 10 times, they'll be similar type of fights. I think they gel pretty well, and it's what you prefer, whether it's the aggression of Benevidez or the skills and probably more eye-catching shots of Bivol. But yeah, I think time plays a factor, and the longer they leave it to do the third fight, I think it favours Bivol more.
Callum, just back to yourself, have you got any preference on where your next fight is? Obviously people would love to see a homecoming in Liverpool, but Benevidez you would think more likely to take place stateside maybe?
Either, obviously I love fighting in Liverpool, I've done it before, and I always love fighting at home, and I haven't done it for a long time now. I think it's probably 5-6 years since the last box day, so that's obviously something I'd like to do. But I've done LA, I've done New York, Madison Square Garden, I've done Saudi. I'd like to do Vegas, so if I can fight in Vegas, then that'd be another box tick for me. But either I just want the best fights possible, and whatever makes the most sense for me, whether it's in Vegas or in Liverpool, that'll just be as a bonus.
Thank you, Callum.
Appreciate it, mate. Thank you.
Really appreciate you.